So in this video, I'm going to quickly cover how to add a new book to Kindle. Basically, you're going to log into your Kindle Direct Publishing account, which you should have set up by now. And here you will be at your bookshelf, which is also your home screen. And you're basically, once you already have your book formatted and ready to go, and you have your cover ready, then now you're ready to actually put it on Kindle. So you're just going to log in and then click Add New Title. And so now you will be at your screen where you're basically going to start entering your book's information. So the first thing you see here is introducing KDP Select. Once again, this is covered in another video, but pretty much no matter what you're doing, you're going to go ahead and enroll it in KDP Select. Now this doesn't set up your promotions or any of that kind of thing right now. It just enrolls it in KDP Select so you don't have to do that later. So whenever your book is published and approved, then you can go ahead and start running promotions through KDP Select. So right here we're at the Your Book page. Then once we get done on this page, we're basically going to move over to the rights and pricing page, and then that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and run through this page. First off, enter your book details. Here's your book name, which is your title, and I'm just going to be putting sort of dummy information in here while we're running through this example. So here is my book title. Is this book part of a series? Now if you follow some of the promotion methods we use in here, you're going to be using a series for these books. So you can go ahead and put yes, it's part of a series. Here is my series. Volume number, whatever that is. Edition number, if you have that too, you can put that there. And the description, we have another video on how to include a good description, including social proof and that kind of thing and reviews. So that's a good thing to put in here, and you basically have 4,000 characters. So here's where you would type your entire description. And then book contributors. Here's where you add your author information, put whatever you want in here, whatever your author's name is, and you can put this as your author. And you can also add all these other things. I can show you here in a second. If you want to add another, you can. If you have these other things, if you're doing like a professionally produced book, you may have an editor, somebody who's doing a foreword, etc. You can put all those in there. But if you're just doing basic adding books to Kindle that you've written and that kind of thing, then you'll basically just put an author name. And if you're using different author names, pen names, and that kind of thing for different markets, you'll put those in here and you won't worry about putting your own name. So you basically just put whatever the author's name in there and click save. You can see that pops up here, John Smith is the author. And then here you go. Here you can put language, publication date, ISBN. You don't need one of these for Kindle books, but if you have one, you can put that in there. Publisher, if you want, you can put your company name there. And publication date, you can put this in there if you want. You don't have to put it in there. It just depends how sort of evergreen you want your product to be. If you have a publication date in there that you publish it now and then 2 years down the road, somebody looks at that and for whatever reason they're looking for a more recent book, even though your book may be ranking high, then they may be deterred from buying your book if it's an older one. So you can just choose not to put a publication date. Verify your publishing rights. You're pretty much always going to select this. This is not a public domain work. Amazon doesn't really like public domain works that much. And so you're pretty much always going to select no because you're going to want a unique book. And also if you choose a public domain work, you're not going to be able to enroll it in KDP Select. Target your book to customers. Now here's where you pick your categories. So there's a few strategies you can follow here as far as picking categories because these basically will initially be where Amazon shows your book. Sometimes Amazon will start picking its own categories for your book. If it thinks your book is relevant to other categories, it'll start doing that. But here's where you sort of get started. So one thing, like say if we're writing a health book. Health and fitness is the sort of broad category, and we'll have to pick a more narrow category. And say we're writing a book on weight loss. So let's look for the closest thing related to weight loss. So there is a category called weight loss. So we've got that in there. And that's category number 1. You can choose up to 2 as you see here. So the next, because you'll already have your book ranking in weight loss. So if somebody knows they're interested in weight loss, they're going to go to that category on their Kindle and basically find your book if you've done the promotion correctly. Now, there might be other people who aren't necessarily who want to lose weight and that kind of thing, but aren't looking in this specific category. So you'd want to choose another category that's sort of a little bit different, so you can get even more eyeballs on your book. But that's still related. You don't want to go off putting if it's a history book, if you're writing a weight loss book, if it's not about the sort of the history of weight loss. Same thing with law. If you start putting something in too unrelated, it's not going to look good for your book, and Amazon may reject it anyways. So with that said, we can put this in another one. If it's a book, for about aerobics related to weight loss, that would be an obvious one. If it tells them how to do the different sort of plyometric exercises or exercises in their house and that sort of thing, then aerobics might be another good category. So another category this book might be relevant to is self-help, for example. And this would, if somebody's looking in self-help, they're looking at something completely different than weight loss, but they might also be sort of looking for the same solution. So with that said, it could be under stress management. Weight loss is exercise and that sort of thing is very good for reducing stress, so you could put it under stress management, motivational, inspirational, if it's sort of getting people motivated for weight loss and that sort of thing. So just sort of think a little more broad-minded, and being able to straddle a few different categories is a good idea. But for right now, we're just going to stick with this one since it's just an example. And then here's where you choose your search keywords. These are going to help Amazon determine what keywords to show your book for when somebody types those in. These you'll also be able to basically play with the system as far as what your book shows up for by putting different keywords. Amazon will pull keywords from your product description, from your reviews, from your tags. So this isn't the only place, but this is a place to start. So you can just choose whatever keywords you want here. Weight loss, maybe your book has something to do with Weight Watchers. You could put diet, fitness, etc. And then you choose up to 7, by the way. And then you would basically upload your book cover. All you would do is click browse for the image and you upload it. And you pretty much want to leave the selected book cover inside your book. Then basically when somebody's looking at it on their Kindle device, they'll see your cover again. And then lastly, you're going to be adding your book file. And then here, you're generally going to click no, do not enable digital rights management. What this basically does is if somebody has, for example, a Kindle on their PC, iPhone, iPad, and then they have a, Kindle device, if you enable digital right management, they're going to have some trouble basically sharing that book between themselves, between their different devices. So you're just going to leave that unchecked. It's generally going to be kind of a pain in the butt for people. But then the last thing you do on this page, once you click do not enable, you're going to click browse for your book and go ahead and upload your book. And then this will sort of be processing down here, and then you'll click save and continue and go to the pricing page. And now I'm going to take you over to the pricing page. So now we're on the second page, the rights and pricing. So you can see this is not started and the your book conversion is complete. I actually just uploaded a real book, so just to be able to get to this page. So now we're on the second page. First thing option you will see here is verify your publishing territories. Now, unless you have a reason to only want this published to certain territories, you're likely just going to leave it as worldwide. This allows you to get more sales because things are going to be sold through all of Amazon's different sites and through all the different countries that it reaches. And then the next option you see here is choose your royalty. Now we'll talk about pricing in a different video. So for right now, we're just going to run through this real quick, and I'm just going to select something. And don't worry too much about what this means. It's just that we are going to cover complete pricing information in another video. Just know and remember that this is how you select your pricing. So I'm just going to choose a royalty option, 35%, enter the price for the book, 99 cents. And then I'm just going to select these down the line. Now this part, probably not going to cover another pricing video because we're basically just going to select these all the same. If you have a reason to basically select a different price for these different currencies and countries, then basically you can do so. But for the purposes of this training course, basically just going to use the 99 cents and whatever conversion Amazon gives us. You can set different pricing, especially if you're from a different country, then basically you may have a reason for doing so, but we're just going to use whatever the converted price is. So we're just going to select these. So as you can see, Amazon's basically generated all these prices, And if you see down here, it says the euro and British pound list prices that are set automatically based on your US dollar list price are converted using the exchange rates in effect on the date that they were initially calculated. So it's basically what it's done here is using different exchange rates, it's calculated the price of your book, and that's what it's set at when it's selling on these different other properties of Amazon. And then you're going to go ahead and allow lending. This is a good idea. It gets your book out to more people. So we're just going to go ahead and leave that selected. And then you select this box. Basically just says that you have the rights to publish this book. And then you just click Save and Publish, and that's it. Amazon will review your book, and it generally only takes anywhere from basically a half a day to up to 3 days, but I've never seen it take that long on anything that I've done here. But basically click Save and Publish, and then you check back in a day or so, and your book should be live on Amazon, and you'll see it within your KDP dashboard.